Alright guys, welcome back to another Complexity Cast presentation. I'm your casting host Beef, bringing you more awesome HoN Tour action. Today's match is actually going to be out of the Gold Division, so taking our first steps outside of Diamond, but happy to be down here. There's some pretty awesome teams down here in the Gold bracket, so I'm looking forward to casting some great games, of course. Today's matchup is going to be up with Please team, aka SOZO, versus Karma, C1K over here on the Hellborn side, so it should be an absolutely fantastic one. And SOZO, I know a couple of these players from talking with them, playing some TMMs with a few of them before, but I haven't seen them play as a team yet, so I'm a bit interested to see that. Karma, on the other hand, I've seen them in a couple of scrims do relatively well, and then I've also seen them on HoNcast yesterday. You might have seen them go up against FAQ Curdy, where FYKU did in fact pretty much put it to Karma. They took that pretty well, and that's how Karma finds themselves now in this lower bracket semifinals. The winner of this game will go on to finish the winner of the other game in the the lower bracket finals to go ahead and try to make it up to the grand finals. But I believe if they win today as well, that they'll be going to Diamond. So that's what's on the line here. Guys, let's get on into this game. Should be absolutely fantastic. Blind bands coming out for the Legion side, Ophelia and Tundra. Or for the Hellborn, Keeper of the Forest and Tremble. So interesting to see a Tremble band right there. We don't see that super often. He is, of course, a hero that a lot of teams have been running lately. Has a lot of map presence. Some very serious carry potential. And he's generally a great solo type hero. And he has great pushing potential as well. So a little bit interesting. I would wonder if maybe one of the players over there on the Legion side is known for their Tremble, but I'm not quite familiar enough to make that that assumption. Getting into the lockpick though, this looks pretty standard. Bubbles, Tempest, Parasite, Wretched Hag, Warbeast, and Plague Rider make it through. So we got 3 jungles by way of Tempest, Parasite, and Warbeast. One of them, the very offensive gank-oriented Parasite, did make it through the blind banding phase, so would not be surprised to see that one picked up. Warbeast, of course, able to get your team some better lane position, strong farm, strong push, and great late game. So we'll see if he comes in. And Tempest, of course, probably the fastest jungler in the game. Awesome push potential and game-changing ultimate. Maybe. Bubbles, Wretched Hag, and Plague Rider. Your suicide heroes are also there in the lock pool. So we'll see if we make it in there. As usual, suicides and junglers are in that lock. But that's already completed. Let's get into the bans real quick. Over for SOZO, we do have Dr. Kroos. I have no clue if I'm saying his name right. That DRK Rose, Dr. Kroos. I'm going to call him Doc Rose. He's going to go ahead and ban Hammerstorm, saying it's a respect ban. So, of course, Hammerstorm, a great supporting type initiator, and also someone with a ton of carry potential if you choose to build him that way. As we did see, I believe, yesterday with that Mighty Swing Hammerstorm on those HoNcast games. Going into the further bans, though, Fade and Empath. So Doc Rose, once again, with that Empath ban. A little bit interesting to see that one come out. They're going to move on, though, with Wild Soul, Dark Lady, and Pebbles. Much more standard bans there. Dark Lady, of course, one of the strongest late game carries in the game. So very standard to see that one. Pebbles, as well as Fade, great ganking mid-type heroes with the ability to put the fear into your opponents. So not going to see either of those. And then Wild Soul, of course, a absolutely fantastic suicide jungler. So he's not going to be making it either. And we're going to move on into the picking phase here. First pick coming out of Doc Rose for Team Please is going to be Silhouette. The ranged Agi carry, of course, extremely strong. Been shown by a lot of teams recently. Trademark being played by Noob G, you know, Haxerin on Complexity. There's so many of them. Keizu over on Vote. Everybody likes to run that hero. She's so strong. Her ability to farm well, her ability to participate in those ganking lineups. And she's a really well-rounded carry. And, of course, with the first pick right there, Please team does actually value her pretty damned much. Over here for Call Karma, they're going to respond with Magnus Aluna. So picking up their middle lane, perhaps, right away. That Magnus, of course, people have been saying that he's one of the strongest initiators around. Of course, with a great stun, good escape mechanisms, and that ultimate to provide a ton of damage. Very, very strong. And Aluna going to make it in, you know, a versatile hero, most often run in that support respect these days. But she's one of those heroes that you can also kind of get screwed out on the rest of your picks, and she can certainly take a semi-carry or a carry role, so that if you have to pick up another supporting hero because the lockpick didn't go your way, she's versatile. And so that's what a lot of teams do like to run her for. Back to Team Please. They're going to be running Engineer and Meraxis. So, of course, Engineer comes out as the strong support there, and Meraxis is a point-stunning hero, so that could very well be the middle lane over here for Team Please. And that would be very strong. The combination of the turret with the Quake, the Keg, double stun, and double slow coming out with Meraxis and the turret. That's a really, really strong team. Now, it doesn't have a ton of reach. You can't really initiate onto them if they're super far away, so you have to wait for the other team to get out of position or gain superior positioning on them by getting around behind them or an invis route, something along those lines. But if they actually start landing all those stuns and those slows, someone's going to die. So nice pickup there from Team Please. Already getting into the lock pick, but real quick, Draconis is the third standard pick for Call It Karma. Going to get that over to their hard carry player, who I believe they said that Liposa Dark was actually going to be playing for them, but didn't. Oh no, that was actually for SOZO. Sorry about that. So one team is down a player, as you can see, formless with the QSQ tag over there for Team Please, but going to be running that Draconis. So of course, a very strong racing hard carry. First pick out of the lock, it's going to be Parasite. So we will, in fact, see that ganking-oriented jungler. Going to be a nice one to see, and we'll see how many kills he can get done here in the early lanes. Of course, with Plague Rider, Aluna, Tempest, all can be very, very vulnerable to that Parasite at the beginning of this game. Responded, though, was a Plague Rider Tempest pickup from Call It Karma. So going to go with a Suicide and a Jungler. So their lanes look pretty damned readable over there. And finishing it out is going to be a Wretched Hag. Going to be played by Zozo Ozos over for Team Please. But that is it, guys. We have the lineups all set. So once we get loaded right here, we'll go over each one of them and get on into this game. Looks like for the Legion team, we are going to have Doc Rose. He's playing the Parasite. So we'll see if he goes for the safe jungle or for the offensive. It looks like he's going to be going offensive as he's grabbing a couple wards and taking those with him. We indeed do have Zozo Ozos. He's going to be playing the Wretched Hag. Looks to be going middle lane. So interesting. Engineer being played by Ninja4, or Ninja, as it most likely is. He's going to be going up there with Meraxis, who's being played by Jakti on the orange slot here. And the solo bottom's going to be Formless with that QSQ tag on. He's going to be doing the solo bottom thing, so Silhouette should be able to get pretty strong farm down there. On the other side, the Jellyfish is going to be playing Plague Rider in that suicide position. Aluna, being played by Carlsberg, is going to meet up with Magnus, being played by Dreadfruit. They're going to go ahead and get their thing done middle lane. In the jungle, we'll have Banana for the win, playing that Tempest, and solo short will be the hard carry, Alme, from Call It Karma. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. I mean, if they are, in fact, running the aggressive pseudo tri-lane up top, which they appear to be, Alme on this Draconis should have a very rough time. Now, I talked about Engineer and Meraxis not necessarily having the best reach. They need to be relatively close to get their stuns off and their slows, but if you do connect with even one spell, maybe like one or two axes, you should be able to follow up. Or if you land a Lucky Keg, you should be able to follow up and secure a kill on the Draconis. But adding the Parasite into that equation, he does have decent reach. With that Leech ability, he's going to be able to get in behind the Draconis, something like that, get the slowdown, land up a Keg, and then they'll be able to get easy kills on the Dracona. So when Almay figures out that Parasite is going to be in the offensive jungle, he's going to have to be very wary. Would expect wards to be coming over to try to make sure that he is in fact protected. Middle lane, Aluna and Magnus going to be going up against the solo Wretched Hag. We did already have a deny coming out from Tempest, so pushing that lane back. I think that Call It Karma probably expected... Let me get this overlay changed up real quick. Sorry about that, guys. I'm still getting used to changing that overlay. I think that Call It Karma probably did expect there to be another dual lane mid, just because Engineer Meraxis is a very strong mid lane. But... going up against this Wretched Hag, the Aluna should be able to keep Wretched Hag pretty far back, especially with the deny that Tempest did put in. And ZoZo is going to have a relatively hard time in this lane. Parasite's going to spy out this Tempest, so that's going to be the first inclination for Almay on that dragon, that Parasite is in fact there. And Almay might be in a little bit of trouble. Keg going to come out right here. Now, Meraxis is only level 1. The Quake is going to come out. They're going to start applying the auto attacks. Draconis trying to get away. Does have level 1, what is that one called? Blazing Flight. I wanted to call it Empowering Flight. What is going on with my camera? Okay, well, that button is messed up. Oh, the Leech going to come in. A nice Keg pushing him back. The Quake and the turret to fall. Almay is going to go down. So the offensive tri-lane doing work right there. And looks like Team Please off to a decent start. Killing the opposing team hard carry. Definitely a way that you like to start your day off. We're going to spawn bottom. Luna was checking top, but she's going to have to go and make a great trek to go get the Invis rune. Now that Invis, with a level 2 Luna, she might try to go down and gank the opposite lane in that short lane Silhouette. But Silhouette should be able to get out of there. In fact, I think that she's just going to grab it and come back toward mid. Hope that she's going to be able to get a nice power shot off, maybe a decent stun, and a few auto attacks to force this Wretched Hag back. Who really had... Oh, actually, a Lava Surge going to be coming in right there. Emerald Lightning and the Power Throw. So Hag going to be down to about 20% life. Pause coming out. So hope it's nothing too serious. But nice job. Wretched Hag does not have any health potions. So it's going to take her quite a while to regenerate that lost life with those Runes of the Blight. And, of course, with those Runes of the Blight, she's going to be vulnerable without having all that maximum HP. She's relatively low on max HP to begin with, 587 with those 4 minor totems. So, yeah. Right now, 200 HP. She's going to have to be pretty damned wary for the time being. Parasite still trying to get his thing done up here. He has picked up those boots, which I believe he did leave the base with. Yeah, he left the base with those, as he does have 550 gold now. So nice job from Doc Rose up there, getting his thing done. Gets that early kill, well, the assist on the early kill, sets him back, and he's been doing a decent job of harassing the Tempest, who is level 4. So Banana for the win is doing a nice job as well, dodging that Parasite. But what are you gonna do if you do have that guy in the jungle? So down in the bottom lane, though, if we take a look at the creep kill score, 7-4 Plague Rider is up against a 6-4 Silhouette. So the Jellyfish actually doing a fantastic job down here on the Plague. You can even see Silhouette back here in a very defensive posture, afraid a little bit of the nukes that are going to be coming out. Look at that. Jellyfish is just pounding in those auto attacks. He doesn't even have a Ring of the Teacher. That's kind of interesting to note that on most suicides and short lane solos, you do go with that Ring of the Teacher just to give yourself a little bit of lane control. Where did Parasite just go? I always hate casting Parasites because he stops showing up on the map when he is inside of a creep, and I'm like, oh, okay, is he ganking? I can't tell. But yeah, it looks like they are going to go for a gank. The Leech, in comes the Quake. A nice Dragonfire, though, is going to push him back. A great Keg, though, and the auto attacks to finish him off. Doc Rose grabs that one, and that's what I'm talking about. Almay in that lane, as soon as they get the reach provided to them by that slow from the Parasite, Almay is just going to be in terrible, terrible amounts of trouble in that top lane. Would not expect him to be getting much farm at all. Might even see a lane change upcoming, as I think they would be better served a lot by sending this Luna Magnus up there. But then the Dragon's going to be vulnerable to the Hag and Parasite ganks in middle. So it's just a very rough situation. I like the lanes coming out by Team Please quite a bit. Silhouette still struggling a little bit down here in this short line solo position, and this is not a lane that she really should struggle this much in. She should be able to get at least decent CS. So Alma in a little bit of trouble again as the Quake appeared to have missed, and using that level 2 Blazing Flight is able to get out of there. But yeah, Silhouette, I mean, she shouldn't dominate this Plague Rider. Plague, of course, is an extremely strong suicide with his high damage nukes and that extinguish ability to keep the lane pushed back and get effective denies. But Silhouette struggling more than I expected down here for sure. So Formless at 167 gold per minute is really, really having a rough time down here. So hopefully he's going to be able to get a gank or something like that. Actually, Lava Surge is going to be coming in there middle, and SOZO also is just going to take an auto attack. Actually turning it around, a haunt being applied, and Engineer is there. The Lava Surge is down for 2 more seconds. The keg misses though, and a nice turret, but Lava Surge back in, and another auto attack finishes him off there. SOZO Osos grabs the kill. 4 players now in the middle for the Legion team, and there was a lot of people rotating to get the kill onto the Magnus. I'm not sure if it was quite worth it, and especially with 2 of them now having to go to town. Engineer gonna walk back as well as Wretched Hag. Hag should have just picked up boots if I'm not mistaken. So she's got a TP scroll. I hope that she's got boots because she's got no money. Interesting, interesting. Silhouette trying to push up onto this Plague Rider who is level 5. But he's running away because there is, in fact, a Minotaur. It's damned Parasite hero. I want him to show up on the map. I can't even tell that he's there. Engineer picks up a double damage rune here in the bottom lane and going to be retreating back toward middle. Hopefully score another kill onto the Magnus, who has, in fact, finished up Steam Boots. And that's going to be relatively nice for him. SOZO Osos on the Wretched Hag did in fact pick up boots, and with those he will be making his way up toward the top lane. Going to be going up against Alme on that Draconis, so should be a little bit more even of a match for both of them as they both had relatively rough starts in this game. 145 GPM Draconis to 175 GPM Wretched Hag. So it's interesting to see. The Silhouette is at 209 GPM and Draconis at 150. So the hard carries in this game are having a hard start, that's for sure. Tempest is over here, kind of hanging out like he wants to make something happen. We'll see if Call It Karma does go in for the bait. Actually, the Lava Surge is going to come out. The keg is going to miss, and the Emerald Lightning does not connect. So not able to get the stuns off that they needed, and looks like Tempest is going to back off. Without boots, it took him quite a bit of time to close the distance, so getting that gank, unless the other team was overextending, was probably not going to happen. Silhouette down here still doing a little bit better now. She's now out farming the Jellyfish, who is 19 and 11 as opposed to the 24 and 17 of the Silhouette. So a little bit interesting to see Silhouette actually out denying the Plague Rider, but Plague is going to be in a little bit of trouble as Parasite comes in, the leech, and then the auto attacks from Silhouette to clean that one up, and down goes the Jellyfish. Team Please now off to a 4-0 hero kill start, ahead by 1,600 gold here at 8 minutes into the game. Experience lead is nothing, so there's keeping up in that respect. A lot of that possibly due to this Tempest, who has been farming relatively well, 235 GPM, but Parasite doing a good job as well. He's going to be at, well, 280 experience per minute. Invisible Tempest here in the middle lane, though, and he could be setting up something very nice. He does have level 2 Glacial Blast, so it's going to be 2 mini stuns if they do choose to use that, and Luna Magnus are there for the follow-up. So if Engineer comes into position, and, well, there's going to be actually a team fight here, as there's 3 players for each side. Neither knows that the jungler is there as well. And Raxus wants to get things started. Oh, Tempest is actually retreating. Oh, Tempest, no. Parasite is falling back just a little bit, too, as both teams are being extremely cautious. Tempest comes back in, staying just outside of the range of the tower so that he does not reveal himself. Parasite consumes that Minotaur, and actually a keg's going to come in right there. A nice turret as well to follow up, but Magnus looks like he's going to be able to just walk on away. More TPs coming in from Please Team, so they're very keen to actually. The Leech coming out there from Magnus, as well as the Axes. In comes the Sonar Scream, and down goes Dreadfruit. So interesting. He had the Lava Surge available to him that entire time, and just didn't choose to use it until he had gotten initiated on by the Parasite. The Facehug did come out and silence him eventually, but I would have thought that when he was in, say, this position right here, he might have Lava Surged up onto the high ground so that he might have escaped. But choosing not to use that spell and held on to it just a little bit too long, because he did, in fact, take the fall there. Silhouette now up to the top gold per minute in the game, with the Plague Rider leaving the lane, able to get quite a bit of free farm down there. Now finished up Phase Boots in addition to her Ring of the Teacher and Mystic Vestments. So she's off to a much better start than she was. Meraxis actually just closed the gap there, as it looks like Jokti is now going to be the top farmer in the game, saving up for his portal key. He's at 1,200 gold now on top of his Steam Boots, as well as his shield and a hatchet. TP's coming in up here top. Tempest might be in a little bit of trouble as the Haunt is applied. There's the Bat Blast and a couple more auto attacks. The Leech actually does it right there as Doc Rose grabs the deny on the tower, and he takes Tempest's life. Lava Surge coming out here middle, followed up immediately by an Emerald Lightning. The Power Throw not going to be there in time though, and Plague Rider just a little bit late to the party. Magnus picked up an Illusion Rune and has been using that down here to grant a little bit of vision. I'd like to see those two spread out a little bit more, grant more vision, maybe trick the opponent or something, but he's doing a pretty good job of showing himself here in the middle lane as well, so not a huge deal. Magnus getting his thing done here as he's trying to be saving for that portal key as well after his power supply, Mystic Vestments, and the Steam Boots. He finds himself 1,500 gold away from that, so Meraxis is going to have his, I would think, substantially earlier. Although Meraxis just spent a lot of money on something, and I don't... it must have been the Mystic Vestments, now that I think about it. He was at 1,200 gold. Another keg going out does miss, so Ninja not having the best time with those kegs, but that one was more a hope and a prayer, not exactly expecting that one to go in. Just saying, hey, if you're not paying attention, you might get killed right here. But Magnus backs away very, very quickly, and he will survive. Silhouette picks up a life tube down here in the bottom lane, so more than likely will be going for that Null Stone that we see so often in Silhouette versus Draconis games. Magnus picks up an Invis Rune, and it looks like he did have to outrun the Engineer and the Parasite, in fact, to get that. Word of Revelation is already in the inventory of Engineer, though, so we'll see if he does choose to place that one down relatively soon. Maybe catch that Magnus out of position, and of course that Parasite with the level 4 Leech and level 1 Facehug in combination with the Engineer might be able to knock down Magnus. Although Mag does have a 15 charge power supply, 1,000 life, and the Mystic Vestment, so maybe not. He's a little bit more tanky than he might seem. Now, interesting to note down here on the Silhouette that, well, I do believe that he'll be going for the Null Stone. It would be a great farming item, and of course being used to block some of these spells, like those coming out of Plague Rider, the Ultimate, or the Contagion, the Emerald Lightning, and of course the Glacial Blasts from Tempest. We maybe could see a Helm of the Black Legion. I remember about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago casting a game where Haxorn of Complexity was playing Silhouette and had a rough start, came back into the game with a Helm of the Black Legion, was getting ganked left, right, and center. But with Formless being 1-0 and 0, not really having any pressure applied to him down here, I would not likely see that one in the bottom lane. Let me go ahead and inquire as to what's going on here. Hope this pause doesn't go on too much longer. They were talking about a player lagging a little bit earlier. And now it appears that somebody's on the phone. Guys! This is Heroes of Newerth. We don't take phone calls during Heroes of Newerth. No, I understand. Sometimes you got important stuff going on. It's going to give us time to evaluate a little bit more what's going on in this game. Alme at 230 GPM on this Draconis is trying to get into these hard camps, maybe do a little bit of stacking. But with a Tempest on your team, it's very hard for a Draconis because Draconis does rely so much on using his abilities to farm that jungle. Tempest also wants to be farming that jungle. He wants to be able to get his items, his mana ring, his boots, his portal key, even a shrunken head relatively soon. So it's really unfortunate when you have a jungler like this Draconis that does rely on farming those jungle stacks a lot. It kind of sucks, as opposed to the Silhouette, who relies on her innate untouchability, her high mobility with relation to her ultimate and her speedy getaway with that tree grapple. She can just farm the lanes in positions that Draconis would not be safe in a lot of the times. Doesn't rely as much on that jungle. So a little bit unfortunate there, as Tempest is still trying to get that portal key. 222 GPM, so a little bit low GPM on a Tempest, especially compared to this Parasite, who's now 2-0-3 and doing work. Tempest's not really contributing thus far, other than knocking down this top tier 1 tower. Draconis finishes his sustainer here, so he'll be able to keep on farming. Sustainability is the name of the game. However, he does not finish Steam Boots, so choosing to go for that mana regen and health regen before that. Magnus is looking like Lava Surge going to come out right there. In comes Tempest, drops the Glacial Blast. Power Supply going to be coming out. The Matrix has activated the Elemental Void to pull him back in. Will they have the auto attacks that they need? It doesn't look like they... now they will come back in with a Lava Surge. The Matrix detonates, and the Power Throw to clean him up. Now, in another lane there, looks like Formless on Silhouette did in fact team up with two of his teammates, Ninja and Doc Rose. They were able to grab the kill onto Plague Rider. So Jellyfish drops to 141 GPM at 0-2-0 on that Plague Rider. Looking a little bit rough down there, and looking a little bit rough for Karma in this game. Now, they do return the kill on that middle tower, so trading 1-for-1 in terms of towers and 1-for-1 in terms of kills, and they got the better end of the kill as well with taking down the Meraxes, as opposed to only losing their Suicide Plague Rider, who's not really doing a whole lot right now anyway. But Karma still down 2,000 gold and 1,000 experience here at 13 minutes into the game. It's a lead. It's not a huge lead by any means, but it's a lead. Lava Surge coming out here middle, followed up immediately by an Emerald Lightning. The Power Throw not going to be there. Somehow my my stream just unmuted itself. Great. Gotta love when your computer does stuff like that. You double check all your stuff before you go live. Google Chrome's muted, Skype's muted, and all that stuff, but no, it just unmutes itself sometimes, and that will come in. So sorry about that one, guys. I have to make sure. Actually, did the stream go down? It's possible that the stream actually went down there, and that could be the reason. Magnus is going to be coming in. He does, in fact, spot the Wretched Hag. Will he go for the Lava Surge? A nice Lava Surge. Interrupts the TP, but ZOZO Osos might be able to get out of there with another blink up in 1 second. He blinks up, though, and that might not be the best place. Draconis activates that Blazing Flight and will be taking flight into the woods. A Power Throw comes out and a Lava Surge to finish him off, though. Wretched Hag is going to go down, so nice job from Aluna to actually make that one happen. I have no clue where that Aluna even came from. Was that a red throw? Yeah, that was a red Power Throw. So nice job making that one happen from halfway across the map. Good job to her. Luna continues to get her farm on, 123 GPM in this game. 1-0-1, so not feeding any kills and assisting her team in getting both of their kills in this game. So, you know what? Nothing wrong with that. She's doing well sitting on that power supply. Red boots as well. Meraxes and Engineer turning their attention toward a triple stack. Ancients. Meraxes, of course, with his tanky nature later on in the game, or if you choose to build him with a Helm of the Black Legion, he gets pretty damn beefy, but not enough to do these Ancients really at with what he's going, he's rushing that portal key, so he doesn't have any tanky items. He's taking a lot of damage trying to finish him off. He does have enough mana for that portal key now, so if he wants to pick that up, it shall be his. Parasite still doing his thing. He's finished his Ghost Marchers quite some time ago and sitting at nearly 2,000 gold. So if he wants to get a Codex, he'll be able to get that in about 50 gold. Or if he wants to get a Blink Dagger himself, another 200, and it will be his as well. Draconis getting to work on these triple stacked Ancients and not having nearly as much trouble as the Legion team. Silhouette in a little bit of trouble, though, as actually Rax is showing off that portal key. Down goes Tempest. Banana for the win. Going to drop. Magnus is able to get out of there with that haste rune activated. So good response there from Team Please. Able to get the counter kills. Engineer makes his way up. He's got the Striders completed, so opting to go that route instead of completing some other kind of boots, but going to afford him some additional mobility as he drops a ward down here behind the tower, indicating that the Legion team would like to push this one down. With 5 players now in the vicinity, they will have a pretty good shot at it. Magnus is hiding in the trees. We'll see if something comes out maybe to spot him, but they are going to fall back for the time being, maybe waiting for somebody else to come in. And it looks like they're just going to fall back entirely, so that ward was counter ward, and that might have been what actually caused them to fall back, saying that they had lost their vision, didn't know exactly what was going on, choose to fall back, approach it at another time. Instead, going to do a little bit of counter warding themselves, so great job there from Ninja to be able to pick that one up. More stacking and more farming. Silhouette finishes her sustainer as well, so not going to be going for that Helm of the Black Legion just yet today. And she's sitting on additional 2,100 gold, so she'll be able to pick up that Blessed Orb at any time and finish that Nullstone at just about 1,000 more gold. Silhouette looking pretty here at 358 GPM, so a nice recovery for her. Draconis on the other side is sitting at 315, so not looking bad either. He picks up his Blessed Orb, and she's about neck and neck with the Silhouette. Silhouette, of course, does have that Ring of the Teacher, which accounts for a small bit of the disparity between them, as well as that Mystic Vestment. So going to be a little bit safer. Magnus picks up his Portal Key, and as they turn their attention to the top lane, the Hellborn team might be able to get a kill if Meraxis does stay up there too long or too far out. Although Engineer is hiding just behind him, they're actually baiting him a little bit now, as Parasite is back here as well with that Portal Key. We'll see if Magnus does go in. There could be a team fight of brewing. Jellyfish joins the battle, and he's going to be bringing to bear his Plated Greaves as well as an Astrolabe. So a little bit of sustained defense for the Hellborn team when they do get into this team fight. Both teams just kind of posturing right now. They want to make something happen. Magnus reveals himself, though, chucks that hatchet at a creep and says, okay, well, I've wasted enough time. Might as well get that creep and get on out of here. Sorry, guys, I need to make sure that my internet is not acting up. It did appear that it dropped a couple of minutes ago, and the stream had to be restarted, so I apologize for that. My internet has been acting up like crazy the past 2 days. I've got an ISP technician scheduled to come out tomorrow, but sometimes it just sucks. Silhouette's in some trouble, though, as the Glacial Blasts have been applied. The Dragonfire as well with that power throw. In comes Tempest, and the counter kill is going to be coming in, though, as the Bat Blast hits 2 players. Plagu out and bouncing around between a couple. A nice spread, though. And the Engineer energy field is going to be going down. Hag manages to get out of there, but right into a Magnus with that Lava Surge going to be coming down. Draconis in some trouble, though, as in comes the Quake. The Astrolabe being applied. Big Magnus ultimate. The Eruption being channeled. And down goes Meraxis. A Lava Surge even going to pick off the Parasite. And a power throw to finish him off. Nearly a genocide there in favor of Karma. Engineer the only one left, and he might not be alive for long. They're going in for the dives. A nice keg right there might be able to lead to an escape, but no, a Lava Surge in the auto attacks to finish him off. A genocide for the Karma team. Zozo, Team Please, whatever you want to call them, they were looking great earlier on, but that was a team fight in favor of the other team, that's for sure. as the only kill that they did, in fact, get was that Tempest. Magnus activating that Steam Bath, just trying to get a creep kill. He wants to go back in with the hatchet, and so he shall. Uses that portal key to blink on out of there and TP back home, gets his regen on. Tempest continuing to jungle, showing off the portal key that he did acquire in that last team fight, so it'll be nice for him. We'll see when he gets a big elemental void off at some point in time, possibly. Draconis and Silhouette both finish up their nullstones after that last team fight. So, as usual with games where Silhouette and Draconis are both present, both go for nullstones and both finish them at the exact same time. Something kind of weird about that, but who am I to say? Pregrider just sitting on those items that he's had for a little while now. Nothing else too much going to be coming out. Does have 900 gold, so we'll see what he in fact chooses to make. Maybe an Energizer, maybe a Storm Spirit, something along those lines at some point, or saves up for a big item, a Sheep Stick, who knows. Magnus, of course, with that portal key, Steam Boots, Power Supply, Mystic Vestments. He's actually doing pretty well now in this game. 286 GPM, looking strong. So with maybe a shrunken head in the future, he's got 1,500 gold now, so he does have enough for the Mighty Blade if he chooses to pick that up, which Draconis already has. So he's going to be working toward that shrunken head to accompany the Nullstone that we see so often. Luna finishes up her Striders and keeps on doing the ward thing. Carlsberg now 2-0-4. Actually, Tempest goes in, lands the Glacial Blast onto the Hag, but in between the mini stuns, Hag does in fact get the blink out of there, so nice reflexes by Zozo Ozos. Able to head on out. There's actually initiation, though, as the Quake comes in from Meraxis. The Matrax being activated. Elemental Void only catching Silhouette, but the face hug from Parasite as well as the Leech going to be coming in. And down goes Tempest. Draconis is in there trying to get something done. Call it Karma's Dreadfruit is going in, but not the best of Magnus ultimates, as he's actually going to take a return. Keg eats the Bat Blast as well, but with quite a bit of life, he's able to get out of there. Team Please is actually in full retreat with a lot of their players very, very low on life. Magnus might want to make something happen, but looks like without any additional vision, they are going to be retreating. A nice try there, but not quite able to get that Parasite as he does blink out. There's quite a few blinks in this game, 2 on each side now that I think about it. On, of course, the Parasite and the Meraxis, as well as the Magnus and the Tempest, and even the innate blink for Wretched Hag. We'll see if Silhouette might even grab a blink here after that Nullstone. Not going to be making her way toward that shrunken head immediately, I wouldn't think. A lot of times you can see that shrunken head after a Whispering Helm, but typically after a Nullstone, you'll see something a little bit different, oftentimes a blink. So we'll see if that's in fact what he goes for. Draconis getting somewhat close to finishing up that shrunken head. He's about 1,500 gold off at this point. And Magnus picks up an Arcana. So very interesting. I'd be kind of okay with seeing spell shards, to be honest. I want to see the Hellflower actually trying to get that Tempest, but the blink out just in time. Down goes the middle tower as well. Magnus has shown up, and Plague Rider picks up a headdress. So he's going to be making his way toward that barrier idol. Should be very nice against the opposing team. The Parasite, Hag, exclusively magic damage, predominantly magic damage coming out from the Engineer and the Meraxis as well. So should be very nice to have. And we'll be able to finish that up in about another 1,300 gold. Draconis picks up his Warhammer and makes his way toward the shrunken head. Even more. But yeah, we'll see if this Magnus picks up a spell shard. That would be kind of interesting. They do, in fact, they have gotten that buff relatively recently, where the recipe does cost less, gets more mana regen. Oh, Luna in some trouble. The face hug going to come out from Parasite. The haunt has been applied. Oh, Magnus gets a nice eruption off onto Wretched Hag and to Parasite. The Plague out and bouncing around. It looks like Call of Karma might have the better end of this engagement. The Miraxis is in some trouble, and 2 more auto attacks. Down he goes. Engineer going to be down as a nice Lava Surge comes in from Magnus. Parasite tries to get out of there. 1 more auto attack is all that is needed, but he's going to be able to use that portal key, and he blinks on into the river. 3 kills for Call of Karma in return for just their Tempest. So a nice job, and in fact, all of them going to Alme on that Draconis. Gets the hat trick up to 443 GPM now. Looking strong. Will be able to finish that Shrunken Head whenever he feels like it. Silhouette picks up a Mighty Blade as well, so he's going to be working towards that Shrunken Head as we see the Warhammer join it in his inventory. Sorry guys, I'm still just trying to monitor my internet and make sure it doesn't go down, because it's been going down a lot recently. It was my birthday last night, and the only thing I wanted to do after I got home was play a game of HoN. I haven't played much HoN recently, been relatively busy. Oh, Silhouette gets caught out right here. The Meteor's going to come in, the tree grapple, and she's able to get away for the time being, and even a keg to cover her escape, so she does get out of there, but nice job attempting to get that done from Karma. But yeah, I wanted to come home and I wanted to play 1 game of HoN. That's all I wanted to do. And I get into it and I had 700 ping the entire time, and my internet DC'd 3 times throughout the course of the 30-minute game. And I was very sad. I just wanted to come home and play some Engineer, but nope, wasn't able to. I did get to play 1 game this morning though, without too much terrible lag. So hopefully I'll be able to get the internet fixed up and it won't be DCing as much, and even maybe some of the lag might be caused by my internet lines just being terrible. I don't know. Magnus, are you going to pick up another Arcana, or will you get the spell shards? I don't know. The Hellfire, of course, would be very, very nice to have against heroes like the Silhouette and the Wretched Hag. Make sure to lock them down before they're able to use their escape mechanisms and get on out of there. And even with the Silhouette having the Shrunken Head, Hellfire, of course, does have the Perplex that will disable that Shrunken Head for the 4-second duration of the Hellfire effect. Invis Root going to be picked up by Carlsberg's on the Aluna. Going to deny that to the opposing team and make his way back toward his side of the map. Just keeps on doing his ward thing. Going to stay invisible next to this Magnus as well. Engineer and Aluna sitting on pretty much the same items. Legion team going to be making their way over to these Ancients once again. It's always unfortunate when you're Engineer and you're trying to help your team farm, and the keg just splits everything up so that you're not able to just nuke them down all in one area anymore. You have to get in the middle of them or something like that. But they are able to clean that one up. Silhouette now up to 418 gold per minute. Finishes her Shrunken Head. Of course, Draconis on the other side has finished his up quite a while ago and picks up a Warhammer. So it could be for a Savage Mace. Normally you see a Slayer coming out instead of a Warhammer first. So the only other option with that Warhammer would be a Shield Breaker. And that would be very odd. That's something that I don't know that I've seen on a Draconis in a very long time. But, yeah, maybe they want to use that Shield Breaker. Of course, would make Draconis hit quite a bit harder. Apply that negative armor effect, and it's a relatively cheap way to bolster your damage quite a bit. But I think the Savage Mace is a lot more likely. I just chose to go with that Warhammer first. Maybe a little bit of a personality quirk there. Mighty Blade picked up onto Tempest, so Shrunken Head is the name of the game. Well, I believe that I saw a Mighty Blade being picked up. It might be in his inventory, but I'm like 99% sure that he did buy one. And so, of course, he would be making his way toward that Shrunken Head, which, if we look at the other team, the Face Hug will go through Shrunken Head from Parasite, of course. Other than that, though, they don't really have anything. So if he's able to get the Parasite inside of that ultimate, should be able to get a full duration ultimate. Of course, if they do pick up a Helm of the Dominator on that Silhouette at some point, she might be able to dominate a Skeleton King and then have that in position to interrupt it. Of course, the root from the Skeleton King will break that one down, but we shall see if she does pick up that Whispering Helm. And she's up to about 900 gold once again. Continuing to just try to get her farm on 207 CS with 51 denies. It's a pretty significant number. 229 and 26 for the Draconis on the other side. Meraxis picks up a Arcana of his own, so going to be working on the Hellflower. The standard build that we see for most Meraxis these days. Parasite picks up an Arcana as well. So Hellflower really looking strong in the recent weeks, months. Another team fight could be brewing down here in the bottom lane. Engineer had been spotted out right there and will be spotted again by the power throw. Drops a counter ward and just walks back, though. Doesn't want to be caught out of position. Lots and lots of counter wards here from the Legion team. And they do spy that Wild Hunter coming by. So we'll see if they lead him back toward one of those counter wards. If they do, they might be able to break him out of that and get a kill. But of course, the magic community on that creep is very nice to have, so that it takes quite a bit of time to, in fact, break him down. We'll see which team actually gets the initiation here. The team with the better initiation might be able to take this team fight relatively easily. The tower does go down as Alma in the front lines really pounds damage into that one, and the Wild Hunter is going to be expiring here. Parasite hops on out of that and will be going back to join his team, retreating for now. Oh, Silhouette in some trouble. A Lava Surge comes out as well as the power throw, but that is in fact just the shadow. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes with the Nullstone effect on some of the colors of Silhouette, whether it's the shadow or not. Yellow is certainly one of those colors. It looks very, very similar, especially with the green outline that I do have on. Guys, I want to reiterate why I'm casting these games. Complexity casting, of course, does provide coverage for Complexity. Whenever we're scrimming, whenever we're in tournaments, I'm trying to provide coverage for that. Unless HoNcast will be casting the tournament game, then you will see it here on Complexity Scrims. But during the week as well, I'm going to be casting HoN Tour games from the Gold Division, just trying to provide as much coverage for the community as possible. And of course, when Complexity isn't playing during the weekends, we'll be providing coverage with other HoN Tour matches. So just teaming up with S2 to get you guys as much HoN Tour coverage as possible. So that's what you see here. Savage Mace is in fact finished onto Alme Draconis, and they're going to be turning their attention toward Kongor. Silhouette trying to make something happen, but will be forced back for now. The shield being applied onto Draconis, and does have 21 armor with that shield, so taking quite a substantial bit less physical damage as a result of that one. Draconis getting very close to 500 gold per minute right now. It's interesting to kind of think, like, he started at 150 GPM, and he hasn't, I don't know, he doesn't look like he's been farming super, super hard, but then all of a sudden he's just at 500 GPM. It's crazy how fast some heroes like that Draconis do just farm, you know, getting everywhere. Efficient farming gets it done. So he's going to be continuing on to make even more items at some point. On the other side, though, let's take a look at the progress of these various Hellflowers. Hellflowers around the world, 3 in progress for the Legion team and 1 in progress for the Hellborn team. Magnus finds himself about 700 gold off, 800 gold for Wretched Hag. Meraxis is about 1,000 gold off, and Parasite appears to be about 2,000 gold off. So 4 Hellflowers in progress. They'll be working towards whatever. When they do finish those, it's going to be very, very interesting to see who gets the Hellflowers off on who, and maybe a Hellflower can even stop a Hellflower from getting off in those team fights and gets the kills. Once again, guys, just trying to monitor the internet right now. Make sure that it's not going to go down, because every time it goes down, it actually screws things up quite a bit, and some stuff gets reset, and so I have to change that. Otherwise, the picture won't be quite as good, and the VODs will get all screwed up, everything. So just trying to keep an eye on that. Of course, I am working on my end to try to get that fixed up as soon as possible. Draconis picks up a Hungry Spirit now, so going to be making his way toward that Whispering Helm. It's going to be very, very nice to have. The additional damage, armor, and of course the lifesteal will provide him. Should be nice to have in those team fights. Actually, in comes Meraxis. The Quake going to be coming out. Bat Blast only hitting one player, though. Magnus charging up his ultimate. A huge black hole going to be going off, though. And Magnus with a nice ultimate as well. Looks like Call It Karma is actually doing okay, but it's really hard to call. Meraxis is going to be fall there with one more attack. And yeah, Call It Karma looking great as a genocide now comes out. And they're going to be able to easily take that Kongor. A fantastic team fight there for C1K, with a great ultimate from Tempest, a fantastic ultimate from Magnus, and of course with Draconis just activating that Shrunken Head and the Cataclysmic Assault, he's able to get it all done. Gets a hat trick right there once again, and they're going to turn their attention toward the middle lane after picking up the token, which is of course on Draconis. He's sitting at 2,300 gold. He'll be able to finish up that Whispering Helm whenever he would like. Even saying, I don't care about you, tower. I've got nice amounts of armor. I'm just going to go ahead and start blasting away your walls. The defensive tower here in the middle lane will, in fact, drop. And they're going to be going toward middle lane. Maybe even looking at racks. No, they're going to retreat for the time being. Hellflower has been finished up onto Magnus. And it's interesting. I don't know what Draconis is going to get next. With the modifier on that Whispering Helm, he could be getting a Symbol of Rage. Could upgrade that right there, but not going to be going with a Frostburn, Frostful Scope, anything like that. Probably a Geometer's Bane, actually. Now that I think about it, that would be relatively standard. Of course, should help against a lot of the slows, the Haunt being applied, the Silence from Parasite, something along those lines. So would be nice to have. And of course, the movement speed, the damage, attack speed, all things that Draconis would like. Aluna sitting on 1,500 gold. Be interesting if she picks up a big item, maybe something like a Void Talisman to try to save herself from the auto attack damage. That wouldn't be super useful in this game. Maybe work toward a Push Staff or pick up a Bound Eye. Actually, Bound Eye is already on Magnus, so they don't quite need one of those, who has finished up the Hellfire. I think I mentioned that already. Shrunken Head completed onto Tempest, as he did already use that. Did he already use that once? No, he did not have that for the last team fight. So he will have the 10-second duration on that Shrunken Head when he chooses to use that the first time. A lot of Spider Mines over here on the ground, though. So when those go off, somebody's going to have a bad day. Engineer wants to get things working. Chakti on the Meraxis. He's trying to finish up his Hellflower. Needs 500 more gold. And, he's going to be able to get a large chunk of that here in the middle lane if he lands all these last hits. He'd find himself just a couple hundred gold away from finishing that one off. Tempest and Luna trying to set something up as Magnus, being hasted, does run into the shadow of Silhouette. So not going to initiate onto that one. Trading blows, though, and Magnus is actually taking a ton of damage from that Silhouette illusion. If he takes any more, Silhouette might port in and just try to kill him. No, the shadow goes down, and out he goes. Parasite's going to initiate onto Draconis, though. The facehug as well as the leech being used, but not doing anything. Power throw goes out and connects. But Draconis is just going to turn her attention, says, hey, there's Ancients here. You're worth just as much as a kill on that Parasite, and you're a lot easier to do, as they do fall. Draconis looking like he spent a lot of gold on something, possibly finished up that Whispering Helm, maybe picked up something like a Firebrand. I didn't quite see. Hellflower #1 has been finished up here for the the Legion team, as it is on ZOZO Osos. The Hag picks that one up. 150 gold or so for Meraxis to finish that one up. And ZOZO takes the farm there in the middle lane. That's unfortunate. Meraxis is probably like, damn it, give me the money I need to finish up this Hellflower. And not quite able to get it. He's going to retreat, maybe sell that shield, and that might be enough, but I don't think so. I think he's still going to be about 100 gold off. Symbol of Rage is in fact finished there for Draconis, so that is the route that the Dragon's going to go. I would expect that once the Token of Life wears off, probably fill that slot with a Geometer's Bane and then give future tokens to one of the other heroes, possibly the Tempest or the Magnus. But we shall see. Hack Illusions making their way around here as Aluna says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and kill that one. Another one makes its way over and will be auto-attacked down by the Aluna. Magnus goes back to try to get the stack off onto those Ancients and will triple stack them once again, so getting back into the farming spirit. Hag actually blinking away from Tempest as a Meteor's drop. Actually, Draconis caught out of position right here. Will he activate the Symbol of Rage? No, the Hellfire is being applied so far. The Matrax is activated. Now the Symbol of Rage. Look at that health just go back up. Auto attacks being pounded in. And they're trying to get toward the Engineer where the mines are. But the Tempest has the Shrunken Head activated. No! All that work from Engineer, and he's not able to get the kill because of that Shrunken Head. Luna almost died as a result, but the Astrolabe keeping her life just high enough. And with 2 players down, Parasite and the Engineer down, Barrier Idol's activated, and they will push down this middle tower. The Rack's most likely there to soon follow. One buyback does come in the form of Parasite. Quake comes in onto the Tempest as well, and Tempest Shrunken Head's down for 40 seconds, but it simply doesn't matter for the time being, as Draconis is just content to pound damage into that tower. We'll have to back off for a short bit. The Lava Surge comes in onto Meraxes, though. And auto attack. Look at those auto attacks. The Hellfire was applied. Bat Blast hits 2 players, though. Hag blinks forward, has to back up immediately. Another buyback going to be coming in as one more player does make his way over. Magnus channeling up the ultimate, a nice eruption to catch Engineer out right there, and down goes Meraxes as well. So that was not a second buyback. I excuse myself, as one player did in fact resurrect. The melee backs are going to be falling as well. Down they go. Draconis taking those down in a hail of fire. Down goes Wretched Hag. Hellfire being applied, and GG well playeds are coming out. Defeat is up, and the vote to concede passes. So Call It Karma takes game 1, and what was objectively kind of close throughout a lot of that game, but going into the 25-minute mark and on, Call It Karma had this game won, and so they do take it. They're going to be going on into the series with a 1-0 advantage, guys. So let's go ahead and get this scoreboard updated. It's a ghetto scoreboard, because I don't have logos for either of these teams, being in Gold Division rather than Diamond. But, guys, we're going to go to a very quick break while we get game number 2 set up. It's been Complexity Casting with me, your casting host, Beef, bringing you HoN Tour Gold Division. This is the Losers Bracket semifinals. Call It Karma taking on Team Please. Call It Karma wins the first game and puts themselves within 1 game of advancing into that Diamond Division. Will they be able to seal it out, or will Team Please be able to bring it back to an even series and take it to game 3? You'll have to find out. Guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.